Action between the Indians and the Yellow Jackets. As I mentioned earlier in the JV game, this features the Indians. They come into tonight's game at 9-2 in league play. They are in first place of the Valley Division. Sidney right behind them at 7-4 in league play. So an important game for the Yellow Jackets if we want to try to get a share or win the Valley Division. They need a win tonight, as these teams have already met once this year. In fact, it was Stebbins' last loss. They've won 9 in a row. Their last loss, their third of the year, was against Sidney 60-49 back on December 12th. Since that time, Stebbins has won 9 in a row. They come in, as I mentioned, 9-2 in league play, 10-3 overall. Sidney 7-4 in league play, 9-5 overall. After losing 3 straight over the Christmas break, Sidney has bounced back to now come in here with a 4-game winning streak. So something's got to give tonight. Yellow Jackets try to make it 5 in a row. The Indians will try to make it double digit or double figures with a 10th win in a row. As we get ready now for the national anthem. And then when we come back from that, we'll have our starting lineups, our keys to the game, and the opening tip. All coming up here on NK Telco Sports.
The Hometown Opportunity Platform is exceptional.
It is focused, laser focused on the careers in our 4-county region.
100% of the time we go to Hometown Opportunity. We've had great success from a handful of applications when we need them, as well as a recent one where we had 67 applicants.
Honestly, it's a competitive advantage.
The Hometown experience has been everything I could have dreamed of and more.
Welcome back to the Hive, where we are now ready to meet the officials and the teams tonight. The officials for tonight's game include Terry Lee, Keith Cooley, and Dennis Fleming, the men in stripes. Number 1, Rayvon Harris, 5'11", senior, averaging 7.5 points a game. Number 3, Josiah Brown, 5'10", senior, just under 5 points. Number 12, Caden Keller, 5'10", senior, 2.5 points. Number 23, Gabe Scales, just under 8 points. Number 30, Bryson Bishop, a 6'5", senior, averaging 13.5 points a game and 7 rebounds. Those are your starters under head coach Dennis Wally. In his 3rd season, assistant coaches Connor Seipel, Ron Fernandez, JV coach Mike Stogsdill, freshman coach Jay Newton. Again, Stebbins 10-3 overall, 9-2 in Miami Valley League play, currently first place in the Valley Division. Now the starting lineups for the Yellow Jackets.
And now the starters for your Yellow Jackets. A 6'2" junior, number 3, Ethan New.
Number 3, Ethan New, 6'2" junior, averaging 3.5 points a game and 6 rebounds.
A 6'1" junior, number 12, Jace Daniel.
Number 12, Jace Daniel, 5'11", junior, 10.6 points a game and 6 rebounds.
A 5'10" junior, number 1, Azon.
Number 1, Azon Steele, 5'10", junior, the leading scorer on the squad at 17.5 points a game, along with 4 rebounds. And number 5, Julius Spradling, 5'9", junior, averaging 15.1 and 6 rebounds. Number 10, Mitchell Davis, 6'4", senior, averaging just under 7 points a game and 5.5 rebounds. Yellow Jackets are coached by John Willoughby in his 8th season. Assistant coach Scott Hooks, Landon Davis, and JV coach Jeremy Keaton. Now the keys of the game brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. First, for Stebbins, they want to handle the hostile environment want to get off to a good start and keep the fans, if you will, the energy out of the Hive. They want to contain the talented guards of Sidney, keep them under control, and be very efficient and execute in the half-court offense. Those are your keys for Stebbins. And now for the Yellow Jackets, contain the dribble drive that Stebbins likes to do in the middle of the lane, rebound the basketball, and take care of the ball. Stebbins like to score in transition, as the opening shot was taken by Davis and missed. And they don't want number 30, who just pulled down the rebound, Bryson Bishop, to have a great game. So they know that the head of the snake is Bishop, lengthy senior, at 6 feet 5 inches. Stebbins, a very senior-heavy team, if you will. 8 seniors on the roster. There's a turnover against the Indians. Steal by Daniel. Three-pointer missed by Spradley, and a rebound for the Indians, who, again, 8 seniors on the roster. They start 5 of them. Coach Wally said that they put a lot of work in, and he's beginning to see the benefits of that hard work pay off, as the drive by Bishop is off the mark. And the Yellow Jackets go to work here on offense. A 3-point opportunity short by Jace Daniel. They want to get Mitchell Davis going. He's been playing well as of late. They want to maybe focus on getting him some more post touches. They gave it to him in the first possession of the game. His shot was missed. Stebbins misses the attempt by Harris, and an offensive rebound by Bishop, who averages 7 rebounds a game. Bishop working against Davis, able to score the basketball for the 6'5 senior, averaging 13.5 points a game. First points in the ball game as we've played 1:45 seconds. Pull-up jumper by Azon Steele. He answers the bucket by the Indians, and Azon 17.5 a game. His first 2. So each team's leading scorer on the season are the first ones to score points here in this MVL matchup. A nice slicing move to the bucket by Harris is good. He again averages 7.5 points a game. His first 2 there of the night for the 5'11 senior. Spradling. Davis from about 17 feet knocks down the jumper. 6'4 senior, averaging 6.9 a game, 5.5 rebounds. Deflected by Daniel, stolen, or coming up with the steal is Steele on the deflection from Jace Daniel. Turnover committed by the Indians. They dump it down into Davis, who finds an open player, Spradley. He goes to the basket, scores the basketball, and picks up a personal foul against number 30, Bryson Bishop, his first, team's first. Spradling, a 69% free throw shooter on the season, 44 of 63 for 69%. Yellow Jackets as a team shoot 68% from the free throw line, as Spradling makes the ends or converts the 3-point opportunity in a 7-4 lead. These teams played back on December 12th at Stebbins. Sidney was victorious by 11, 60-49. Skip pass over to Keller. This is Gabe Scales, and he will have it deflected. It goes off of him. It'll be a turnover, Indians, and Yellow Jackets will have a chance to increase their 3-point lead. 7-4 right now with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the first quarter. Mitchell Davis over to Jace Daniel for 3, no good. With the rebound, Josiah Brown. Here come the Indians. Bishop with a foul. Needs to be careful he doesn't pick up a charge, and he will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. Jace Daniel, the first foul against him, the first on the team. Bryson Bishop, a very good free throw shooter, 73% for the 6'5 senior, 30 of 41 on the season. 13.5 points a game, just under 7 rebounds. He now has 3 points in the game. Coach Wally talked about having to play teams twice, very challenging, as feels that the conference has a lot of good players, a lot of good coaches, and this is again the second time now that they've met this season as they begin to get into that second round of the rotation. Steal from the elbow, no good. Bryson Bishop with the board. He'll bring it down himself. Pull up just inside the three-point line. Azon Steele high in the air. Good verticality there from the 5'10 junior with the rebound. He'll go to the basket, get around Bishop, and score off the glass with the left hand. The 4th point of the ball game for the 5'10 junior. Coast to coast for Azon. The rebound on one end and the hoop on the other end. Nice move. Slick was Rayvon Harris going to the basket. And that will be the second foul on Jace Daniel. So tough break for Jace. He has the first 2 Sidney fouls. 2 free throws coming up for Harris. Substitutions for each team will come in. Free throw by Harris is good. In for Indians, number 33, Kim Scales. And number 2 for Sidney is Gavin Gillum. Rayvon Harris, a 59% shooter on the season, makes both. He now has 4 points. Came into tonight's game at 7.5 points a game. Has 4, and that has cut the Yellow Jacket lead down to 1, 9-8. Gillum over to Davis. Spradling now with the basketball. Spradling 15 points a game. Tight man-to-man defense by the Indians. The full half court. They've been guarding it very tight. Steele to Gillum. Spradling trying to find a crease, and pretty good defense by Scales. And they'll have to resort out to Davis. Davis posting up now, working against Bishop. Ball deflected after a lengthy possession. The Indians defense forces a Yellow Jacket turnover. And the shot is missed, and that might be Bishop's second foul. So their leading scorer for the Indians, 2 quick fouls here in the first 5.5 minutes. As he was trying to battle for the rebound by his teammate Harris, who kind of ran out of room on the drive attempt, and Bryson Bishop will sit down with 2 fouls. We have 2 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the quarter. See once if the Yellow Jackets try to take advantage of the size differential now. Spradling trying to avoid a 5-second call, and he can't get it done. Accolades to Gabe Scales, the 5'10 senior, drawing a defensive assignment to defend Spradling. Stayed. Basically, you have to have your torso in front of the ball handler. And referee Keith Cooley felt that he did that entire 5 seconds with the dribble and forces the turnover. This is Scales, who came up with that nice defensive pressure against Spradling. They are guarding each other. So we'll see once how Spradling handles the pressure from Scales. As getting the blocked shot is Mitchell Davis. It stays with the Indians. Open for 3 is Scales. Can't get it to go, and with a strong defensive rebound, Ethan New pulls it down. Gillum up top to New. They'll swing it over to Steele. 1 minute now and 30 seconds. Minute and a half to play. Steele, tough shot. Left it short. Scales with the rebound. Floater by Harris is off the mark. And Steele with the rebound. Gillum for 3. Off the side of the bankboard, but also off of the foot of Keller. It'll stay with the Yellow Jackets with 1 minute, 11 seconds. Gillum gets it into the backcourt, and Steele will run it down and bring it back into the front court. He'll cross the timeline with 64 seconds to play in the quarter. Nice hesitation. Steele waited for the defense to kind of shift, and when it did, he took off his 6th point of the quarter. And a 3-point lead once again for the Yellow Jackets, 11-8. Another blocked shot by Mitchell Davis. But with a follow-up from the Scales miss is Lavelle Lyles. Lyles with his first 2 points coming off the bench. Good battle, though, on the offensive glass for the Indians. After the nice defensive play by Davis, the Indians still capitalize and get the bucket by Lyles. 15 seconds to go. New for 3, no good. Scales with the rebound. Scales, I think that shot was blocked again. That's a 3rd blocked shot by Mitchell Davis here in the quarter. All 3 times, though, it's been Indians basketball after the blocked shot. Twice out of bounds, and the last time it was kept alive by the Indians, and they got a shot attempt and then followed that miss up with a bucket from Lyles. Down to 4 seconds. Step through at the buzzer will count. Lyles, 4 points here late in the quarter. That last one has given the Indians a 1-point lead at the end of the first quarter, 12-11. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we will have second quarter action here on NK Telco Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Welcome back to the Hive. My name is Jeff Henshin, bringing you tonight's Miami Valley League action between the first place Indians against the second place Yellow Jackets. That's in the Valley Division. Indians come in 9-2 in league play. Sidney right behind them at 7-4, so a big ball game here. This game has a kind of a big determining factor of who may win this Valley Division. And Sidney did defeat Stebbins back on December 12th, 60-49. Since that time, the Indians have not lost. They've won 9 in a row and currently stand 10-3 overall, as they got a couple good buckets there from Lyles to end the quarter to take the lead. They turned it over to start the second quarter, and Julius Spradling his 5th point on transition offense, and the Yellow Jackets retake the lead. Another turnover as the Yellow Jackets will come up with a loose ball. Possession favors Yellow Jackets, so that's a turnover against Stebbins. Their leading scorer, Bryson Bishop, 2 fouls in the first quarter. He remains on the bench. Also for Sidney, number 12, Jace Daniel with 2 fouls. He likewise on the bench. Ethan New. His pass into Davis. Taken away, turnover. Going to the basket, Caden Keller with a tough contested left-handed shot. His first 2 points of the game for the senior, averaging just under 2.5 points. Steele, high elevation, scored 6 in the first quarter, now has 8, averaging 17.5 points a game for the 5'10 junior. Caden Bishop, number 4. Don't know if he played in the first quarter, but he's in the ball game now. Scales, Kem Scales lost the ball. Turnover, Indians. Julius Spradling from 14.5 feet leaves it short. And the ball knocked out of bounds. Turnover, Indians, off of, I believe, number 4, Caden Bishop.
Indian substitution number 23, Scales.
Gabe Scales, number 23, into the ball game. Also number 1, Rayvon Harris. Is checking out as number 12, Caden Keller. He is getting a finger taped. He lost the tape on the last possession as Davis feeds New. A shovel pass works, and New scores the basketball. He averages just over 3.5 points a game and pulls down 6 rebounds for New, his first 2 points for the 6'2 junior. Scales to the basket. No good. Here comes Steele. Open for 3, no good. Rebound for the Indians, Caden Bishop. One of the non-seniors. He's a 6'1 sophomore, so he's one of the non-seniors on the team. 8 on the roster, 8 seniors, and 2 sophomores are on my roster, so no juniors on the varsity roster. Harris with the left hand. Left it short. I don't know if Davis got a hand on it. I don't think so. The crowd didn't go nuts, so we'll assume the shot was just short. Loose ball, turnover Indians. Good hand pressure or defensive pressure by the Yellow Jackets, forcing yet another Indian turnover. And Sidney has outscored Stebbins 6-2 here in the first 3 minutes of the second quarter. Davis working against Lyles. Open 3, Gillum. Gillum, his first 3 points of the night. Big basket for him coming off the bench. Playing some minutes because of the foul trouble to Daniel. Stebbins now down by 6. Wonder how long they'll keep Bishop out with the 2 fouls, and getting a big bucket there is Caden Bishop. Coach Wally wants a 30-second timeout. He'll get one precision strip timeout on the court. 20-17 Jackets here on NK Telco Sports. Sidney basketball, they lead by 3 as we're just about halfway through the second quarter. Mitchell Davis, shot blocked. Good defensive play by Caden Keller. Stays with the Yellow Jackets. Ball poked away, it'll go in the backcourt. New will run it down. Loose ball, Spradling will not, well, New comes up with it. That one skipped around the horn, if you will, intended for New. It missed him about, took out the official. Turnover, Yellow Jackets. In for Sidney is number 4, Tucker Heron, a 6-foot junior, or I'm sorry, 6-foot senior. And out will be Mitchell Davis. A little confusion on who was staying and who was going, and they got that situated. Drive to the bucket, off the mark, just short by Caden Bishop. They recover or keep the second chance opportunity alive, and into the ball game now is Bryson Bishop, number 30. Playing with the 2 fouls. This is him with the basketball. Man-to-man defense for the Yellow Jackets. Brown to Caden Bishop. Shot there altered by the Yellow Jackets. Coach Wally wants a foul, doesn't get one. Remains a 3-point lead for the Yellow Jackets. Pull-up jumper by Azon Steele. He now has 10 points in the game. Bishop with the basketball. Backdoor cut. Keller knocked out of bounds. Bishop trying to work his way to the basket, and there's a whistle, a foul on the backside against Sidney. So the official on the backside saw a contact, will whistle a foul against the Yellow Jackets. That'll go against number 3, Ethan New, his first. Indians trying to, they'll get a held ball, double dribble, just too much hold time on the dribble, so good call by the officials. Sidney will take over. Is in for the Indians will be number 13, Lavelle Lyles. Not real sure what. Is there a timeout? Oh, I think we have a scoreboard issue, so a timeout on the court. We'll take one with him. Precision strip break in the action here on NK Telco Sports.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
Welcome back to Sidney as they repair the scoreboard. Looks like there's 2:36 to play in the second quarter. Your score 22-17 in favor of the Yellow Jackets. Stebbins led at the end of the first quarter 12-11. So an 11-6 run. 11-5 run for the Yellow Jackets has them on top now by 5. As we are ready to go here, it looks like. Resume the action with 2:36 to play in the second quarter. Earlier this quarter, Gavin Gillum made a 3-pointer. He's played in 7, now 8 games this season. Had not scored this season, was 0 for 5 from 3-point range. Hit a 3-pointer here in the second quarter for his first points of the season for the 5'11 senior. As problem fixed. As Brett Bickle welcomes the crowd back to our regular programming here at the Hive. As taken out of bounds for the Yellow Jackets is Tucker Heron. He gives it in to Julius Spradling. Spradling almost could have got called for the double dribble there with a hesitation. Trying to look for Davis inside. Playing against a shorter defender. Well, I'm sorry, that was Ethan New. So, was not Davis. Shot off the mark by Spradling. Rebounded by the Indians. Ethan New, though, still had some size on the defender of Caden Keller. Nice stop and go. Can't get it to drop as Rayvon Harris, his effort, though, to keep it alive for the Indians on the offensive glass. Again, the Indians' leading scorer, Bryson Bishop, a 6'5 senior, on the bench with 2 fouls. He played a little bit here in the second quarter. Went out a possession or so ago, remains on the bench. And Rayvon Harris slices through the gap in the Sidney defense for his 6th point, a 3-point margin now for the Yellow Jackets. Azon Steele to Spradling. Tough shot, can't get it to drop. Spradling gets it back, draws contact against Caden Keller, and will go to the free throw line. 5'9 junior, averaging 15 points a game, has 5 tonight, had a 3-point play in the first quarter. And the first free throw of the 2 is good. He is now 2 for 2 in the night, a very good night, or the 2 for 2 tonight. He's a 69% free throw shooter on the season. Also a very good 3-point shooter at 35%, pretty decent numbers. For the juniors, leads a team in assists at 3 assists per game, and also averages a couple steals per game. So Spradling does a little bit of everything. As his free throws give his team a 5-point lead. Just over 60 seconds to play in the half. Lavelle Lyles. Shot was altered. Again, I don't know if it was blocked. I kind of looked down. I didn't see the block, but definitely Mitchell Davis in the way to create an issue for the Lavelle Lyles attempt. 5-point lead for the Yellow Jackets. 40 seconds to play. Spradling shovels into Davis. A lot of hands and a whistle. Coach Wally doesn't like the call. The official will signal a foul on number 4, Caden Bishop. With the basketball now, Gavin Gillum, again, had his first points of the season on a 3-pointer earlier this quarter. Azon Steele, 3-pointer off the mark. Azon Steele, a 38% shooter for the Yellow Jackets beyond the arc, 37 of 96 coming in. That was a very good percentage from that range. Misses on that attempt. Clock now down to 15 seconds. Caden Keller swings it over to Josiah Brown, down to 7. Keller at 3, goes to the rim, lost his foot, and travels with just under 1 second to play. That's the second time now that Keller has lost the tape on his finger. And just for 1 second, I think Sidney will just get it in, and, well, they will get a shot off as pretty good effort by Julius Spradling. At the end of the first half, it is Sidney on top of Stebbins, 24-19. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will have second half action here on NK Telco Sports.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Kogi Plumbing and Heating is your Bryant Factory authorized dealer. We have brought the best of comfort, control, and plumbing services to the St. Mary's area for over 60 years. We have been Reader's Choice winners for the last 4 years running and excel at providing our customers with efficient and reliable heating and air conditioning, as well as responsive service when a plumbing emergency arises. We insist that the products we install in our customers' homes and businesses offer the same performance and value that we expect ourselves. Call today for your next plumbing and heating or air conditioning needs. Bryant, whatever it takes.
NK Telco Sports and its sponsors welcomes you back to the Hive. My name is Jeff Henson, and we are at halftime, just getting ready to start the third quarter, where the Yellow Jackets lead 24-19. Yellow Jackets outscored the Indians in the second quarter. 13-7 to take a 1-point deficit at the end of the first quarter. Now a 5-point lead, and scoring for the Yellow Jackets in the first quarter, Azon Steele leads the Yellow Jackets with 10. 3 from Gavin Gillum, his first points of the season. 2 from Ethan New. Julius Spradling with 7. And 2 from Mitchell Davis, their total of 24. For Stebbins, 6 for Rayvon Harris. 3 from Caden Bishop. 2 from Caden Keller. 4 from Lavelle Lyles. And 4 from Bryson Bishop, who did not play much. He got 2 fouls in the first quarter. He is back on the court now on the block, being guarded by Mitchell Davis. Luckily for the Indians, they only find themselves down by 5 with their leading player sitting much of the time in the first half on the bench. As a drive by Harris is again contested by Davis, and that probably caused for a little bit of a wild shot. It's missed by Harris, and the Yellow Jackets, their first possession on the offensive end, is interesting that Bryson Bishop is not guarding Mitchell Davis. Instead, it's number 12, Caden Keller, as there's a travel violation, and Bryson Bishop is defending number 3, Ethan New. So I think they're just trying to make sure maybe Bishop doesn't pick up a third foul if Davis would get it and try to kind of go at him. So they're willing to roll the dice with a shorter player, Caden Keller, 5'10", defending Mitchell Davis at 6'4". On this end, though, Davis is challenging Bishop, who lost the handle but able to maintain it and get it out to a teammate, Scales, and they'll reset their offense. Baseline drive, baseline pass into the hands of Harris. Rayvon goes to the basket and can't get it to drop. 2 good looks, and wow, that's Bishop. He will get his 3rd foul. So they have him guarding someone different, but he picks up his 3rd foul, and he will be coming out of the ball game. Tough break for the 6'5" senior. Coach Wally, Dennis Wally, in his 3rd season at Brett Bickle. They had some scoreboard issue in the first half, and some of the information on the side panels maybe not be accurate, so he will update us with scoring and fouls and such. As going to the basket is Mitchell Davis. He is fouled. 2 free throws coming up for Davis. First free throws of the night for Mitchell Davis. He's good on his first one. Came in as just a 55% free throw shooter. 21 of 38, makes good on his first free throw attempt. Mentioned Dennis Wally in his 3rd year. There's an offensive rebound. Ethan New, hoop and harm. And on the other side of the court, John Willoughby in his 8th season as Sidney coach. Spent many years at Houston. Lavelle Lyles with the foul, and Ethan New, big offensive rebound for his 4th point, a chance to make it 5, and he will. 75% free throw shooter on the season for New. Not a lot of attempts, 9 out of 12, but make that now 10 out of 13, and a very big possession for the Yellow Jackets against the Indians. Harris will try for 3. He had some trouble scoring the ball around the rim. The first couple times he took it to the basket in the 3rd. This time he settles for his 4th made 3-pointer of the season. Just a 13% shooter from that distance. Coming in at 3 of 23, but hit a big one there, and much needed points for the Indians. They now trail by 6 as we approach the 6-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Man-to-man defense for the Indians. Azon Steele. Whoa, and he will get a foul called against number 23, Gabe Scales. That's Scales' second foul against Scales and the fourth against the Indians here in the quarter. So the next foul against Stebbins will have the Yellow Jackets shooting free throws. Design play into Davis is missed, but he hangs with it, gets his offensive rebound, and the hoop and the harm. That's the second time here in as many possessions for Sidney that they've had an old-fashioned or old-style three-point play opportunity. Ethan New was able to take care of it. His trip, we'll see once if Mitchell Davis can, and he does. Mitchell Davis, 6 points now in the ball game, averaging just under 7 on the season. And back-to-back three-point possessions for the Yellow Jackets. Scales off the mark for three. Offensive rebound, Lavelle Lyles, no good. And New with the defensive rebound. Steele, tough shot. Spradling there for the offensive rebound. Spradling now with 9. 11-point Yellow Jacket lead. 11 points is the margin of victory the first time these teams met back on December 12th, 60-49, a Yellow Jacket victory. Harris, a nice shot. He's having trouble scoring. He does have a three-pointer here in the quarter, but he's missed some other shots as Coach Wally cannot hide his leading scorer. He'll come back onto the court with the 3 fouls with 5 minutes to play, as now the game somewhat getting out of hand. If the Indians can't get some offense and get back into it, the lead could be larger. And this is Bishop with his hand on New. Doesn't want to pick up a cheap one that far outside of away from the basket. That one out of bounds. Jace Daniel didn't play a lot in the first half either with 2 fouls. Lost the handle on his pass attempt. Indians give it back. Turnover for turnover. Tough break for Stebbins. Spradling will bring it into the front court. He's on Steele. Skips it over to Jace Daniel. Man-to-man defense for the Indians. Spradling to New. New had a conventional old-style three-point opportunity earlier in the quarter on an offensive rebound, stick-back bucket, and then made the free throw. 4 minutes left in the third, halfway through. Steele misses the opportunity. The ball comes back into Davis's hands, and he lost it. Indians have some players down the court. They'll take advantage of it, and they will score it. That hasn't happened a lot tonight as Josiah Brown scores it, but Coach Willoughby talked about taking care of the basketball because Stebbins scores a lot off of opponents' turnovers. They got another chance here. They just scored, and they won't, but that was something to call Coach Willoughby's attention, his ability to score off turnovers for Stebbins, and Coach Willoughby will take a timeout with 3:29 to play in the third quarter. It's a 33-24 Yellow Jacket lead here on NK Telco Sports.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Lincoln Electric Automation in Coldwater and Fort Loramie supplies top-of-the-line automation systems to manufacturers. Lincoln Electric Automation routinely develops its team through hiring and by offering advanced technical training. We understand that every employee matters, and every role contributes to the success of our business. We offer advancement opportunities, competitive wages, and benefit packages. Visit LincolnElectric.com and get on track to a better career and a better future.
Welcome back to the Hive. My name is Jeff Henchen. There's 3:29 to go in the third quarter. 11-point Sidney lead. Coach Willoughby takes his first time out. Things are maybe just a little out of control here the last couple possessions. Wants to make sure his team stays a little bit more disciplined maybe, and don't let the Indians feel like they can kind of come back into it right now without having to work at it. Nice backdoor cut. Assist New bucket. Spradling, he now has 11. Nice bounce pass backdoor by Ethan New. Spradling gets the bucket as those two classmates connect. Don't know if that was part of the design play off the timeout, but if it was, it worked just nicely. 11-point lead again for the Yellow Jackets. Harris has had some opportunities here in a quarter, and there's a foul against Spradling.
Fouls on the Yellow Jackets, number 12,
Daniel, his third foul, so he's had foul trouble as well tonight as Spradling blocked by Bryson Bishop, and in transition, it doesn't go down for Keller. He gets another chance, won't go down. Good defensive play on the other end by Bryson Bishop, and Indians still have a chance here. They've had a couple looks inside by the 5'10 senior. Now they try a three-pointer by Cam Scales off the mark, so 3 looks for the Indians. Following a block shot by Scales on the defensive end, they come up scoreless. And Azon Steele, oh boy, that would have been huge, but he is a little strong on his drive. Bryson Bishop, coast to coast. Defended nicely by Mitchell Davis. Coach Wally wanted a foul. Tough night for Bryson Bishop. Hasn't had a lot of court time and has had somewhat of a difficult time scoring the basketball as well. As they create a turnover on the effort by Caden Keller. Bounce pass and basket for Josiah Brown. His 4th point of the game, all here in the third quarter. Just under his 5-point average per game, and it's a 9-point lead. So possession here for the Yellow Jackets. Try to get it back into double digits. Defensively, the Indians of Stebbins try to get a scoreless attempt and whittle the lead back down again, but instead it's a Julius Spradling 13th point for him, 6 in the quarter. Had 7 at half, 6 in the quarter gives him 13. Came in at 15.1 on the season. 60 seconds to play third quarter, 11-point Sidney lead. Bishop, Keller, Scales, Brown from 16, no good. That'll be deflected off of Bryson Bishop. Rebound will go to the Yellow Jackets.
Indian substitute number 0, Carter.
Adrian Carter, number 0, 5'9" sophomore. Just Carter and Bishop, Caden Bishop, the only non-seniors on the varsity roster. Spradling is fouled. I don't think that'll be on Bishop. The foul went against number 3, Josiah Brown. Bishop had the block shot. 2 free throws coming up for Julius Spradling with 34 seconds. 6 points in the quarter. He's 3 for 3 on the night from the free throw line. Now make it 3 for 4 is in for the Yellow Jackets. Gavin Gillum and Tucker Heron to give Davis and Daniel a little bit longer break with 34 seconds to play. And Spradling makes good on 1 of 2. It's 14 points in the ball game now for Spradling. Clock at 25, a 12-point Yellow Jacket lead. Pass deflected off of the Indians and turnover. Zazon Steele blocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Yellow Jackets, and coming in for the offensive possession will be Davis. And also offensively, they'll bring in Jace Daniel. Jace Daniel with the basketball. Couple screens. Boy, nice play Good out-of-bounds play as Ethan New with his 5th point of the quarter, his 7th of the game. A nice assist from Jace Daniel. Nice out-of-bounds play by the Yellow Jackets. At the buzzer, count it, Bryson Bishop scores his 6th point, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter, 40-28. The end of the 3rd quarter, score 40-28 here on NK Telco Sports.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
NK Telco Sports welcomes you back to the Hive as we begin the 4th quarter. Sidney has a 12-point lead as we enter the 4th. 40-28, they outscored Stebbins 16-9 to increase their 5-point halftime lead to now 12. Spradling will bring it across into the front court. Sidney has won 4 games in a row after losing 3 games around the Christmas break. New can't come up with a finish on the loose ball rebound. Bishop is fouled by Jace Daniel. That is Jace Daniel's 4th foul. Gavin Gillum in for Jace Daniel. Mentioned Sidney lost 3 straight over break. Now they've won 4 in a row. Stebbins has won 9 in a row. Their last loss, as mentioned, was to Sidney back in December. Harris, a shot blocked, rebounded by Spradling. Good defense by the Yellow Jackets. New with the basketball will hand off to Azon Steele. Up top for Spradling's 3-point shot, no good. Caden Bishop with the rebound and a possession here where the Indians need to get some offense. They led at the end of the 1st quarter and have struggled offensively since then. The ball tipped out by Bishop, and it stays with the Indians. Pull-up jumper by Caden Bishop, no good. It's a couple looks there for the Indians, and they continue to struggle offensively. They do create a steal here on the tip pass by Scales, and Scales gets it back, and Scales scores. Points off turnovers. It's what I talked about last quarter. Coach Willoughby, one of his keys of the game was take care of the ball. Stebbins gets a lot of points off of opponents' turnovers. Stebbins still has time. They're down by 10. But after the 1st quarter, Stebbins led 12-11. Their offense has gone down since that time. They scored 12 in the 1st, 7 in the 2nd quarter, 9 in the 3rd. Going to have to find some offensive rhythm here in the 4th to come back here against the Yellow Jackets on the road. Rayvon Harris over to Adrian Carter. Now Harris gets it back. Scales off of Sidney. It looks like some interior passing there. Got a little bit touch deflected. It stays with the Indians underneath their own basket. Pass off the mark. And Spradling, the 5'9" junior, has had a nice second half. Had 7 in the 3rd. That 2-pointer here in the 4th, 9 points in the half, had 7 in the 1st half, 16 points in the game. Going to the basket and drawing contact is Caden Bishop. 2 shots coming up for the 6'1" sophomore. He has 3 points tonight. Those came back in the second quarter when he made his 8th three-pointer of the season. Just a 45% free throw shooter on the season. 9 of 20, his first 2 attempts tonight. That one will not drop. Tucker Heron back in for the Yellow Jackets, replacing Mitchell Davis. .12 lead for the Yellow Jackets. Caden Bishop trying to get 1 of 2, and he does. His 4th point of the game. 11-point Yellow Jacket lead. A little bit of pressure now put on by the red and gray to try to force a turnover. Then instead they pick up a backcourt foul. That will go against Rayvon Harris. His first foul, and the first foul of the quarter for the Indians. Press now backed off to half court. Clock running at 5:25 to go in the contest. Spradling to Steele. Steele and Spradling, both junior guards. Coach Wally talked about containing the guard play. Those 2 very electric, athletic junior guards for the Yellow Jackets are leading scorers basically on the season. Steele at 17 and Spradling at 15, so they comprise most or a big chunk of the Sidney offense. Yellow Jackets right now, long possession, no hurry to score. They lead by 11. Spradling from 3, no good. Tipped around and into the hands of Caden Keller. Here come the Indians. A hoop here would get it back into single digits. Spinning. Scales almost lost it, able to get rid of it. 3-point attempt from Caden Bishop. No good. 1 and done for the Indians. Knocked around though. Coming up with a steal is Carter, who dishes to Keller. Points off turnover and a 30-second timeout with 4:17 to play in the ball game. A big hoop there by the Indians to keep their hopes alive. They trail by 9, 42-33 on this precision strip timeout. Want to remind everyone, other sponsors that allow us to do these games include Carriage Works, Chiltex, Cy Sweeterman, Dickman Supply, Elmwood Assisted Care, Hometown Opportunity, Hillsman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric, Minster Bank, New Knoxville Supply, SecureCom, Bud's Chrysler Dodge Jeep, Crown Equipment, Shelby County Veteran Services, St. Henry Bank, and WCSM Radio. Critical part of the ball game now as the Indians get a basket to cut it to 9. Just over a half of a quarter left. The Indians trying to force a turnover. They get a turnover, the deflection, the steal, and before Bryson Bishop can get to the basket, he is fouled. So things should get a lot dicier here. On a score by the Indians in this possession. They have the basketball under their own basket. This is Bishop who gives it out to Caden Bishop. Bryson now with it. Ball knocked around through his hands into the hands of Gavin Gillum. New with the basketball. Jace Daniel will get it across, but not until it's deflected. And a timeout. Jump ball, nope, jump ball. So not a timeout, but a jump ball. So another turnover against Sidney. Now Stebbins will have to try to capitalize. They could not take advantage of the last steal. They're going to try here with 3:48 to play. 42-33, 9-point lead for the Yellow Jackets. Caden Bishop for 3, no good. Offensive rebound, Caden Keller. Follow-up basket by Bryson Bishop. He now has 8 points in the game. 7-point lead for the Yellow Jackets. They've had a couple possessions back-to-back. They're going to try to milk a little clock, but got to come up with a score. And Coach Willoughby will take a timeout with 3:14 to play. Precision Strip timeout on the court. We'll take one with them. It's 42-35 on NK Telco Sports.
We are here, and here, and here. Minster Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Minster Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Welcome back to the Hive. Would like to also remind everyone that our live view sponsor tonight is Cargill. Thank you, Cargill, for being our live view sponsor. At the conclusion of this game, I will pick a player of the game for Sidney, and that is being brought to you by NK Telco. Our mid-game and post-game stats are also brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems. Some other fine sponsors allowing us to do this tonight. High school basketball, Miami Valley League contest. Spradling had some difficulties, but does get it into the front court. Stebbins leads the Valley Division at 9-2. Sidney's in second by themselves with a record of 7-4. So a win tonight would bring the Yellow Jackets to within one game of first place in the Valley Division. And a clean sweep, if you will, of the head-to-head competition. And there's a foul against Bryson Bishop as both players kind of banged legs, and Bryson is trying to walk his off. That might be his fourth foul. Bishop will stay in the game with 4 fouls. Jace Daniel finds Azon Steele. New gets it back, Steele gets it back. And there's a turnover, a bad break for the Indians. It'll be a backcourt violation as the referee ruled that the Sidney player touched it in the backcourt. So before the steal was made by Caden Keller, it takes away the layup opportunity, but now a 7-point game. 2.5 minutes to play. Harris for 3, no good. Bishop, no. Bishop, yes. Boy, he's been an animal on the offensive glass. Timeout taken by Indians with 2:26 to play. 42-37 now, just a 5-point lead.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
Things getting a little bit tight here in the Hive. Now a 5-point game. What once was 11-point lead for the Yellow Jackets has been trimmed down to 5. A couple big offensive rebound baskets by Bryson Bishop has been part of the comeback for the Indians. And he's playing with 4 fouls right now. His last basket has now cut the lead to 5. Looking at my notes here, Sidney's been stuck on 42 for a bit. Let me see, 42. It was 42-33 with 4:17 to go. So it's been almost 2 minutes that Sidney has scored. And in that time, the Indians have put together 4 points. And with 2:26 to play in the ball game, a 5-point Yellow Jacket lead. Turnovers have been part of the reason the Yellow Jackets haven't scored. Good pressure defense by the Indians. And almost a situation, but instead a foul on number 1, Brayvon Harris. Team third. Harris his second. A lot of pressure defense here by the Indians. They've caused some problems against the Sidney offense. As a drive by Spradling, no good. Missed opportunity. Here come the Indians. Bishop will kick out to Harris. Harris dribbles in. Shot missed. New with the rebound. New is fouled in the backcourt. Fourth team foul. Gabe Scales picks up his third foul. Fourth team foul of the quarter, so under 2 minutes to play. Turnover, Yellow Jackets. Tough break for Keller. Can't get the shot to drop. Spradling quickly down the court. Much needed bucket for the Yellow Jackets. For Spradling, now 18. The teardrop shot by Rayvon Harris is good. Minute 25. 5-point lead. New gives it back to Spradling. Jace Daniel with it. Davis trying to kill the clock, won't attack the basket. New with the basketball. See once the Indians of Stebbins begin to foul. They do. New had the basketball. They didn't get contact on him. Instead, they're going to foul Azon Steele, who is 80% free throw shooter on the season. 24 of 30 for the Yellow Jackets. Azon Steele had 10 points at halftime. He has not scored here in the second half. Came in at 17.5 points a game. Big free throws here for the 5'10 junior. First one is good as the 11th point. 6-point lead with 1 minute 4 seconds. 64 seconds to play in the contest. A win would bring Sidney to within 1 game of the Valley Division lead. Both free throws are made. Coach Willoughby will take a timeout with 1 minute 4 to play in the ball game. Precision strip timeout on the court. We'll take one as well. 46-39.
Crown, your hometown global leader in the material handling industry, named one of America's best in-state employers of 2023 by Forbes magazine, has positions available in engineering, marketing, sales, IT, and more. We offer a full range of employee benefits, competitive wages, advancement opportunities, and ongoing training. Join our growing team of 18,000 plus employees. Visit crown.jobs and apply today, or find us on social media by searching Careers at Crown.
46-39, 2 big free throws by Azon Steele. His first points of the second half give him 12 in the game, but more importantly right now a 7-point lead after City had not scored in some time. They scored, it was again 42 they had back at the 4:17 to go in the ball game at least. So it's been a 3-minute stretch of no offense, and City gets 2 free throws. And they also had the free throw the layup by Julius Spradling, so I guess they've scored 4 points here recently. 3-pointer by the Indians. Gabe Scales, no good, and that's a big miss. Still some time, but they have to, and again, they're going to foul a very good free throw shooter. Of course, Spradling had the basketball. He's right around 70%, so sometimes you don't always have a choice. You just got to take what you can get, and a chance here for Azon Steele to really make it difficult for the Indians. The Indians have 2 timeouts left in the ball game. Steele now 3 for 3. 13 points in the game for the 5'10 junior. And 4 for 4 here in the quarter. Pressure free throws and cool as ice. 80% free throw shooter takes care of business. Harris defended by Davis, and there's a held ball possession. It'll be Sidney basketball. 39 seconds to play. 9-point lead for the Yellow Jackets. This time Spradling is fouled, so a free throw shooting contest at the other end. Sidney is perfect here in the quarter. 4 for 4. And that will be, yes, free throws for Spradling. He is on tonight 4 for 5. 80% free throw shooter tonight. Misses the first of 2 there on the season. 69% free throw shooter. 7.5 points did he have? He had 7 in the third quarter to give him 14. And that free throw now gives him 19, his 5th point of the quarter. Clock running at just over 30 as there's a steal by New. And an easy opportunity, but a nice steal by Ethan New. New's played a nice game. He's come up with some big plays, and there's a foul here with 19 seconds to play. 12-point lead, and going to the foul line will be Jace Daniel, as Coach Willoughby will empty his bench. Jace Daniel, kind of a quiet night. So 4 of the Yellow Jackets come off of 4. Heron into the contest. Number 13, Tanner Snyder. Number 4 is Tucker Heron. Number 2, Gavin Gillum. As Jace Daniel will not go scoreless tonight. He came in at 10.6, had some foul trouble. His first point of the game. Make it his second point of the game for the 5'11 junior. Down to the final seconds here. 14-point lead. 3-pointer by Harris just off the mark, and clock under 10, and that will be how the game will end here. The Yellow Jackets will move to within 1 game. Basket by number 21 at the buzzer will finish the scoring for the Yellow Jackets. They win tonight 55-39. And that is our final here, as again the Yellow Jackets now pull to within 1 game of first place in the Valley Division. We'll take a short break. And when we come back, I'll wrap things up here and pick our Sidney Player of the Game, sponsored by NK Telco Sports.
Whether you do business from a corner store or a corner office, there is one asset your business cannot do without: the Internet. Everything from sales and marketing, training and shipping, PR, HR, and R&D, your business relies on a fast, reliable, and secure connection. And now, it's more important than ever to partner with an Internet provider you can trust. Get Flight Fiber for Business, backed by local tech support from NK Telco. Call today.
Welcome back to the Hive in Sidney, where the Yellow Jackets continue their winning streak. They've now won 5 in a row. They stop the 9-game winning streak for Stebbins, who now have been beaten by Sidney twice. The first time back on December 12th, 60-49. Then they won 9 in a row. And tonight that winning streak stops for Stebbins with a 55-39 loss against the Yellow Jackets. Scoring in the game for Stebbins on our Grand Lake Health Systems recap: Rayvon Harris finishes with 11. Josiah Brown, 4. Caden Bishop, 4. Caden Keller, 4. Laval Lyles, 4. 2 points from Gabe Scales. And leading scorer Bryson Bishop, who battled foul trouble all night, finishes the game with 10 points. For Sidney Yellow Jackets, Azon Steele with 14 points. Gavin Gillum, his first points of the year, with 3. Ethan New, 7. Julius Spradling had 7.5. 7 in the third quarter gave him 14. 16, 18, 20. Spradling ends up with 21. Mitchell Davis, 6 points and a few blocked shots. Jace Daniel, 2 points. And I think it was Corey Blackford, number 21, that scored the last bucket at the buzzer, 2 points for their total of 55. So happy times here at the Hive as they continue their hot winning ways. Again, the win now puts them at 8-4 in Miami Valley League play action. 8-4. That's one game behind now 9-3. Stebbins, who suffers that first loss in a month to Sidney. So good job by the Yellow Jackets. Score by quarters went like this. Stebbins led 12-11 at the end of the first quarter. Sidney led 24-19, a 5-point lead at halftime. Sidney opened up to 12 in the third quarter. At the end of it, 40-28. Things got a little tight as Stebbins worked their way back to, I believe, to within 5 points with about 2.5 minutes to go in the ball game. A 5-point lead, but Sidney held on and hit their free throws down the stretch, and they prevail with a 55-39 victory over Stebbins. Our NK Telco player of the game tonight, I'm going to go a little bit, I thought, not with a leading scorer tonight, but I thought a big play early in the third quarter on an offensive rebound, put back and got fouled, made a free throw, was Ethan New. He also scored another bucket in the third quarter and came up with some nice defensive plays as well. So I'm going with our NK Telco player of the game, Ethan New, 6'2 junior, 7 points in the night. Came in at just over 3.5, so he doubles up his average in a big contest tonight against a very high-quality Stebbins ball club and helped his team to win 55-39. Congratulations to Ethan New, our NK Telco player of the game. That will wrap it up here from the Hive. For my director, Austin Ambergy, my name is Jeff Henchen. Once again, your final score, Sidney 55, Stebbins 39. Thanks for watching here on NK Telco Sports.